So it's Clara the Book Goddess, and I am here to bring you a review of the Lunar Chronicles book series. It's been a while since I did a review video, and so I thought I would take the time to review a series for you today. So if you didn't know, the Lunar Chronicles is a series that takes fairy tales and turns them into sci-fi. So the Lunar Chronicles is now one of my favorite book series ever, and I love it. So I thought I would review it and get you to read it if you haven't. You've probably heard of it. It is on the New York Times bestseller list, or it has been. I don't think it is right now, but that's just this week. Anyway, so the first book in the series is Cinder, not Winter. Winter's the last one. Cinder. Cinder is a retelling of Cinderella, and personally to me, it was my least favorite. I am not the biggest Cinderella fan, but it was still a really good book. To me, it's sort of like the first Captain America movie. It's like not the best of them, but it's essential to get the plot, and that was Cinder. So Cinder is a cyborg. Basically, she is part robot in a way. Her eyes are synthetic. She has a computer in her brain. Some of her veins and vital organs are synthetic. So it's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's dangerous for her because cyborgs in this futuristic world get a lot of bad rap, right? And so Cinder ends up chosen for this cyborg draft. So basically the cyborg draft is cyborgs are being chosen to be tested to find a cure for this certain disease. And this disease going around is called leishmaniasis, and it basically kills you and they have no cure. Well, it turns out that there are people living on the moon that have a cure. They're called Lunars, and they basically have these powers. So they can manipulate what's called your bioelectricity and make you do whatever they want. So it's pretty bad. They can make you see them however you want. That's called their glamour. And so Cinder is drafted to help find a cure for leishmaniasis. Well, the Lunars on the moon, they have an evil queen named Lavanna, and she is determined to marry Prince Kai, who is the prince of the Eastern Commonwealth, which is basically Asia. So Cinder comes in contact with Prince Kai, and after she fixes Prince Kai's droid, who contains some very valuable information, she is drafted into the cyborg draft. And, well, let's just say some fancy stuff is found out about her. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to try to make this as spoiler-free as possible, even though I am really, really good at spoiling things. So, alright, so that is Cinder. It is a background to the story, and it's really good. It is really good. But the second one is one of my favorites. I think it's a tie between the second one and the last one, and that is Scarlett. My sweet brother bought this for me the other day and totally surprised me, so it's lovely. I love the feel of this book. Just look at that. And it's thick. It's not the longest. The longest one is Winter, which is the last one. And anyway, this is a retelling of Red Riding Hood, which is really awesome. I love this book. I love this book because it is the beginning of my favorite couple in the history of fiction, okay? Just trust me, they are so perfect, the couple in this book. I'm not going to tell you what happens or who falls in love with who, but it's just, oh, the romance in this book, I love it. I just love it so much. So, Scarlett is a French girl. She's a French girl. She lives with her grandmother on a farm, but her grandmother has gone missing. Nobody knows what happened to her, and so she encounters Wolf, who is a street fighter. Wolf is not his real name, that's just what he goes by. Wolf has connections to where Scarlett's grandmother is, and it turns out that Scarlett's grandmother, Michelle Benoit, was kidnapped, and so Scarlett enlists Wolf's help to help find her. And this is the story of finding Scarlett's grandmother, but Cinder and all her friends are also in this book, and it is a continuation of the story that began in Cinder and all the drama in that book. Okay, book 3 was Cress. Book 3 was Cress, yes, and it was a retelling of Rapunzel. What surprised me was this was not my favorite, which I love Rapunzel, I'm going to be honest. I just love that fairy tale. I don't really know what it is, I just love it. And so I expected Cress to be my favorite. It is not, actually, which was a surprise, but it is still an amazing book. So what happened when I was reading the Lunar Chronicles, I got through book 2 and about halfway through Cress when my mom found out that there was stuff in Ferris that is just not appropriate, okay? To be honest, let's just say it is the backstory to Queen Lavanna, who's the villain, and oh, she is bad. Okay, in Ferris, there is something that Queen Lavanna does. She uses her manipulation powers in a way she shouldn't, if you get my meaning, and, well, it's just not good. And so I quit reading the Lunar Chronicles, and I just started reading them again, and I started Cress completely over. I was afraid I was going to have to read the whole series straight through and read the first 2 books again, but I didn't. Everything came falling back into my brain, and it all was fine. But Cress was phenomenal. It was a total page turner, and I couldn't put it down, and it was just amazing. Besides that, as in every single one of these books, you get a new couple, and there was, I love the couple in Cress, okay? It's my second favorite of the 4 Lunar Chronicles couples, and I absolutely love the romance in this book. Actually, the book is not as romantic as the other ones, I would say, but the romance that begins in Cress gets totally more romantic in Winter, which is the conclusion. I bought this book. There goes the water bottle. Okay, sorry. I've got stuff falling off my dresser right now. Okay. Winter is the conclusion to the Lunar Chronicles. I did a vlog series while I was reading this. If you have read this book, you can go watch the vlog series. If you have not read this book, do not watch the vlog series because, well, you'll find out everything that happens because I totally went on and ranted about what was going on while I was reading this book, because this book has caused me probably much more emotional pain than anything else in the world, any other book in the world at least. It was a whirlwind. This thing is 800 pages, but look at this. It's like thin pages, and it's really, really good, and it's fantastic, and this is probably my favorite in the entire series because it's action-packed and the most romantic, which helps for everything. So, the Lunar Chronicles, Winter. Winter is fantastic. It is a retelling of Snow White, and I love it. I loved it so much. It was so good. It was so good. And my brother was feeling like strangling me for like the entire book because he was reading these books by John Grisham, which were written for kids, and I was sitting there on the couch just screaming at the book, Winter, okay? I'm just completely and totally losing my mind when I was reading this book, but it was so good. It was so good. It was so good. Okay, that's enough. It is a very interesting take on Snow White because it is mixed with all the other people that were helping Cinder along the way in the other series. So all 4 of these fairy tales are rolled into one big, long story, and it is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And Winter is probably one of the best conclusions I have ever read to a series, next to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, because that was awesome. But the other book that just came out this year was Stars Above. This is a short story collection. I just finished this a couple days ago, and if you saw my Ruler of Books tag, I awarded this the Ruler of Books 2016 award. So I loved this. It was really good. So a couple of the stories, actually all but one of the stories are before the Lunar Chronicles happened. So it was really, really good. It was a lot of backstory to the characters in the main books, and one of them, The Little Android, is a short story that is a take on The Little Mermaid, but instead of a mermaid, our Ariel, so to speak, is an android. So she's not supposed to have human emotions or anything like that, but she does, and it's really sweet and really sad, and it's really good. I loved it. But my favorite was Something Old, Something New, which is an after the Lunar Chronicles. So that means do not read this book if you have not read the Lunar Chronicles, because major spoilers in the last one. And it was a really good story. Like, there is a wedding in this book, guys, somewhere, okay? Somewhere in this book there is a wedding. I'm not going to tell you whose wedding it is because that would be spoilers, and I'm trying not to spoil anything. So, there's a wedding in this book, and it is the most beautiful wedding ever. Like, I would have cried if I hadn't been trying to not have running mascara because I was on my way to work. So, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay. Sorry, I just dropped a book. Okay. I'm clumsy, guys. Merlin moment. Watch Merlin if you don't. Okay, side note. Alright, so that is the Lunar Chronicles. This is one of my favorite book series now, and oh, it's so good. It's so good. Like, seriously, try reading it. I know, even if you're not a sci-fi person, I'm not either. Honestly, I never, ever read sci-fi. I picked these books up because my romance-loving friend said there was awesome romance in it. That's seriously why I picked them up. I don't regret it. I love them so much. They're so good. So, that is my review of the Lunar Chronicles. I thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and follow the blog if you get a chance. So, bye!